occasionally we still get, oh, you guys sell meat. What do you guys sell? Wagyu? Do you sell pork chops, lamb chops? People hear meat and they think that we're mispronouncing it as meat. It's thankfully it's happening a lot less now, but it still happens occasionally. But in the beginning, no one knew what meat was. I first encountered meat many years ago. I think it was more than a decade ago on a trip to London, and fell in love with it. Realized that it wasn't just something that I saw it in games or read about it in books, but it actually existed. And then came back, started uh, researching more about it, finding out more about it, and back then I was actually home brewing beer already, and then I found a couple of recipes online, and realized that I had all the equipment to make mead as well. So I started experimenting it, started working out different recipes. One thing led to another. It became an obsession of sorts to actually start making good mead. And then back in 2018, 2019, uh, had an opportunity with a friend of mine, my business partner now, Justin, uh, who enjoyed drinking mead as well. And we had this crazy idea to start a meadery in Singapore. Sat down, we did the math, we did the sums, realized that it could work. And that's the story. That's how we started back in 2019. Fast forward now to 2025. We've got a good distribution system in place. We are in Singapore and Malaysia, and we're looking to expand into Thailand and further countries in the region.
That's really cool. So maybe we should actually start by explaining what mead is for
Sure,
anybody who doesn't know.
sure. Mead is basically taking honey and fermenting it into alcohol. So if like you ferment grains, you get beer. You ferment grapes, you get wine. If you ferment honey, you get mead.
And it's one of the most ancient types of alcohol, right?
Yeah, historically it is the oldest form of alcohol in the world. Long before humans made beer and wine, it started with mead, and and every culture in the world has its own version of a alcoholic fermented honey drink. If you look at drinks like tej in Ethiopia, that is also made from fermented honey. The main reason behind it is like to make, like I said, to make wine you needed grapes, but grapes had to be grown, right? If you wanted beer, you needed grains like malt that had to be grown. Whereas with honey, it didn't need to be grown. You just had to find a beehive and harvest. That helped propagate mead around the world because a there wasn't an agricultural requirement for it to be a product in a sense.
So it's one more step in the
One step
process.
less,
Yeah.
correct.
And so how about in Asia? Are there traditional alcohols that are
There
made from
is
honey?
in Asia, as far as I know, in China, there is a form of mead. I don't remember what the exact name is, but there is an ancient alcoholic beverage made from honey back in ancient China.
And so what was it? Like you mentioned, you mead is maybe something you read about in books on fantasy novels or
Yep.
see in games and RPGs and that sort of thing. But then you when you first tasted it and discovered it's a real thing that is still made today, what was it about the drink itself that you liked?
I think overall it's like the versatility of what we can do with mead. Yes, it's the base ingredient is water, honey, and yeast, right? But there's so much you can do to it. Like with LCM, what we've done, we've got a hibiscus blueberry where we infused hibiscus flowers and blueberries into it. We've got a spiced mead where we have cinnamon, cloves, star anise in there. Have a chrysanthemum mead which we made with chrysanthemum flowers. Uh, yes, while the base ingredient is all the same, all these three products taste vastly different from each other, and a lot of people don't believe us when we say that all three are meats because they just taste so different.
And then you bring by yourself for yourself, and I'm sure
Mhm.
your friends and family at home, but to transfer that into a business for paying customers is a pretty big leap. After you made the decision that you wanted to go ahead and try this, what was that process like?
Oh, it was completely nerve wracking. I knew I had a good product, uh, but that knowing is based off feedback that you get from people that you know as well. So I always take that with a pinch of salt. But I realized that what I really wanted to do was just to put forth the best product that I could. When we first started it, there was only one other person in Singapore making mead. His name was Simon. And he was making something very traditional, and what we call traditional mead, which is mead that is more like wine. So you're looking at 10% to 14% and above ABV. We decided to do something called low ABV mead or beer style meads, where our meads will come in at 5% or so and carbonated. So there was really no one else doing what we were doing at that point, and we didn't know how the market would accept it. So the one thing that we did know was that if we put our best product forward and let the market judge, we'll give it a year, we see where it goes, and then we decide from there. And the first year was just amazing. We got so much love, we got so much support. The products really took off, and yeah, we're here. We're here now. We're here to stay.
So, what was the learning journey like? First of all, I think there's from a logistics standpoint to be able to ramp up, and I'm sure there's some certifications or different things you need to do to make the product itself. But then you add in all these other, the marketing, the distribution, the getting the bottles and the labels and all that sort of thing. What were some of the big challenges that you had to get through to get up and running?
So with a lot of what you said, I think with the marketing, with the logistics, we were lucky that we had friends who were on in all those different areas that we could go to for advice, and they helped us out. We spoke to a couple of people who were already in the industry, in the beer brewing industry, got their advice on how to get the proper paperwork sorted out and all that. So I think the logistics part of setting up the business and getting product was relatively painless in the grand scheme of things. I think what the real challenge was the consumer education. We've been around since 2019, 6 years, 6 years now, right? We're in our 6th year, and not happening as much as when it first started, but occasionally we still get, oh, you guys sell meat. What do you guys sell? Wagyu? Do you sell pork chops, lamb chops? People hear meat and they think that we're mispronouncing it as meat. It's thankfully it's happening a lot less now, but it still happens occasionally. But in the beginning, no one knew what mead was. We really had to go out there. We had to do a lot of road shows. We had to do a lot of small events, and really just educate people, educate consumers on what we were doing. We used to get things like, "Oh, is this beer?" And we said, "No, it's not beer." So what is it? Or, oh, so if this is fermented from honey, that means is it non-alcoholic? I'm like, no, there is still sugar in honey. Ferment sugar, you still get alcohol. So it was just a lot of that in the early days.
That's hilarious. But okay, so I think that's it. So, but the market has changed. Is it? Do you think it's primarily because of you, or in general, is there just more awareness and people have heard about it mean more?
I would like to say it's us, but I can't take all the credit for it. To be fair, I think Lion City Meadery has, and I'll be very bold to say this, we helped open the market up. Ever since we started, other beer importers or alcohol importers in Singapore started bringing in mead. We started seeing imports of superstition coming in. So consumer education has definitely improved. Consumer awareness has definitely improved. And with more distributors bringing in mead, it will grow the market. It will grow the industry. And with that, the consumer awareness will come naturally.